Hello, this is a little sound report about the Polybrute 12 and its new functions compared to the original Polybrute. Mainly the difference is that we have 12 voices now instead of 6, and also there's a different keyboard, and it has a different feel. And Arturia is writing about a full touch MPE technology, but it's not totally clear what that means, so I'm trying to explain this. At first, when you load a preset, for example, preset 1A1 is loaded by choosing 1, and then in the matrix, this is A1, and this is the opening preset. Then the display is already showing me that full touch is part of this preset, and there's this mode here called Aftertouch, a button called Aftertouch, and there I can switch between 3 different modes: mono, poly, and the alternative mode, which is called full touch. And then the display is showing me also full touch modes: envelope to Aftertouch, Aftertouch, and Aftertouch to Z. And full touch is mainly about the way that a key is taking all the way down. So Arturia was thinking about using this way to make sounds playable in a more expressive way. So let me first show what Aftertouch means. I have a chord, and now when I hit it later on, after I played it, you hear I'm playing the keys, but only if I push them down quite a bit, then the note on command is sent, and now we hear Aftertouch. And if I switch to poly, this is not for the whole chord, but for single notes happening. And now when I switch to the alternative mode, something similar is going on, but it's happening already when I push down the keys in the first 2/3 of the way down. And there we hear there's already a filter movement, and in this programming mode it depends on the envelopes. And the way the envelopes behave is shown down here, while when I move to the second mode, we have Aftertouch already in the whole way that this sound is going down. But now I already changed the envelope, so I'm going back to the original sound and switch only the mode. So the Aftertouch is happening instead of pressing the keys in the first way of pushing them down. And then the third option also integrates the Z parameter. The Z parameter is usually part of MPE, and we'll cover this now. The question is, what does the Z parameter do? And in order to show this, I have loaded an MPE sound in Ableton Live, and this MPE sound, I'm turning Polybrute down. I'm now playing it through a special MPE keyboard, and MPE usually has 3 axes: X, Y, and Z. And X is therefore horizontal movements, which cause pitch bending effects, and then Y is therefore vertical movements. Also known as glide. And then there's pressure, which is the Z-axis, which opens up the filter here a little bit. And MPE now also means that if I press a chord like a C major, I can do pitch bending for a single note rather than for the whole chord. And this is accomplished by using different MIDI channels. So each note has its own MIDI channel. So what does full touch MPE mean? Basically, the Arturia also becomes an MPE keyboard, but only covers the Y and the Z axis. In order to play Polybrute with MPE, you have to first activate it in your DAW, and you also have to enter the settings menu and then MIDI and then MPE, turn MPE on or off, and in this case I turn it on, off for both ways, receive and send. And now if I try to play the Ableton sound via my keyboard and change the keyboard modes, my polyphonic aftertouch now gets changed into a Z-axis command. In that the polyphonic aftertouch of the keyboard is now converted into different MIDI channels, and I have the option to use the Z-axis by playing the keyboard, while I can also play the Y-axis when I have the full touch mode activated, and then you can hear Aftertouch to Z is now not only opening up the filter a little bit, but I can also hear what the slide effect does. It's sent as control number 74, which is stated in the manual. So basically the Polybrute 12 keyboard is a kind of 2/3 MPE keyboard. It does allow to access the Y and the Z axis, but it does not allow to access the X axis, at least not through MPE. And apart from that, we have other options here like the Morphee pad and the ribbon. So if I'm now going back to the sound of the Polybrute and switch to a simple preset, then you can hear I can do slides with this ribbon, but not for single notes of a chord. And there's also this Morphee pad that allows X, Y, and Z axis movements, but only for one channel and not in an MPE fashion. Of course, it's worth to mention that we have a Polybrute Connect software, and the Polybrute Connect software connects with the keyboard, and I have a browser in here, and if I choose a different sound here, it's automatically loaded in Polybrute, and this way I can, for example, use different plugins and they have different settings. For example, this plugin has a different preset loaded. So in order to get it to the Polybrute, I first have to connect this instance of the plugin with my Polybrute, and then it will play the sound that is loaded for the track. And this has the advantage that I can not only record MIDI for the track, but also automation and see movements if I morph between parts, which is a basic concept of Polybrute 12, that you have two parts where you move between. So you can use the whole spectrum of sounds that the Polybrute offers in a way you are used to do when you work with plugins. You can reload your settings very easily and work with the quality of the synthesizer sounds, which is somehow something different, feels different than using a plugin because you can access all the knobs and you also have these analog vibe with the sound of the Polybrute 12. So that's the main reason why professional producers really enjoy to work with the Polybrute 12, because it allows to access sounds very easy. Apart from that, it has a step sequencer which makes sounds easily rhythmical, not only step sequencer but also an arpeggiator. And for example, if you turn the arpeggiator off and record stuff into the step sequencer, then the pads show you what's going on in the step sequencer. So there are lots of professional modern features in the synthesizer, while at the same time it is an analog workhorse.